London, a city of elegance, legacy, and opulence, known worldwide for its wealth, high fashion, and elite neighbourhoods. From Mayfair's penthouses to the countless designer stores in Knightsbridge, it's a place where success can be worn on someone's wrist. But just down the road from the glamour, there's another London, a darker, sharper edge that quietly coexists. In areas like North Kensington, million-pound mansions share postcodes with council estates riddled with poverty, tension, and violence. And in this volatile blend of rich and poor, something unusual has happened. What's on your wrist can now cost more than just money. In 2023, the UK spent an estimated £1.9 billion on luxury watches, but over 60 million were reported stolen. That's 1 in every 30 watches gone, a watch stolen every 48 minutes. The numbers are shocking, but they don't tell the whole story, because this isn't happening in dark alleyways or in the so-called no-go zones of London. These crimes are unfolding in the very spots that you'd recommend a tourist to go, in the spots that feel the safest: Hyde Park, Mayfair, Knightsbridge, and Oxford Circus. Victims aren't accidentally wandering into danger, they're being hunted in the heart of the city. London streets have turned into a checkerboard of danger zones, where no borough can be truly trusted anymore. So the question is, why watches? What makes these timepieces such a hot target for thieves? The obvious answer is money. The average Rolex sells for around £12,000, a staggering price tag for something that can fit in the palm of your hand. Stealing one means thousands of pounds gained in seconds. No car alarms, no house alarms, just a wrist and a moment of distraction. Luxury watches, particularly models from Rolex, Cartier, and Patek Philippe, are untraceable, unlike cars, which come with registration plates, or phones, which can be tracked. Watches are often traded second-hand with no digital footprint. They're easy to conceal, quick to ship, and difficult to verify as stolen, especially when sold overseas or through private dealers. It's a black market dream. Organized crime groups have taken note. These aren't random muggers operating on impulse. We're talking about calculated operations with spotters, getaway drivers, and in some cases, inside help. No one is safe, not even the rich, famous, or physically capable. Take Amir Khan, the world-renowned boxer. While dining out with his wife in East London, he was robbed at gunpoint. A man who's trained to fight for a living was rendered helpless by a group of armed criminals who knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't interested in a brawl, they wanted his watch. They got it. Some people were quick to criticize Amir, saying he was being naive, that he should have known better than to wear a high-value watch in that area. But hindsight is easy. And what does it say when a professional athlete, a man whose career is built on defense, isn't even safe? Then there's a tragic story of Emmanuel Odolami, a London music executive. He wasn't in a back street or a sketchy neighbourhood. He was attending a high-profile event in central London, dressed sharply, surrounded by professionals, but he was wearing what appeared to be a £125,000 Patek Philippe. Unbeknownst to him, he had already been marked. A security guard working the event spotted the watch and alerted a gang. By the time Emmanuel left the venue, a plan was in motion. He was ambushed, stabbed, and killed for the watch. The twist? The Patek was fake, just a replica, something many wealthy individuals wear as a safeguard, keeping their real investments locked away in vaults. But for Emmanuel, it didn't matter. Real or fake, the cost was still his life. This case shocked London. It stripped away any illusion of safety. It showed us that these thieves don't just want money, they want certainty, they want opportunity, and they're willing to kill for it. So why are watches so emotionally charged? Why does this crime feel more personal, more intrusive than others? Because in today's world, a luxury watch is more than a timepiece. It's a status symbol. It's a statement, a social currency. It tells people that you've made it. And in a city like London, where wealth and poverty rub shoulders every single day, those statements can attract resentment and even rage.
If I don't do that, what am I going to do? Doing this is better than selling drugs, in my opinion. Man's not a heartless person, but you don't know. You might see a grandma with like a 40 bag watch or something.
There's a twisted kind of logic at play. If someone is wealthy enough to drop £50,000 on a watch, they'll survive without it. But the thief, the same amount could change their life. This isn't to justify the crime, but to understand its rise. There's desperation in the air. Rising inflation, a cost of living crisis, and a widening inequality have all fed into a climate where luxury can feel like a provocation. And that's what makes it dangerous, because it's no longer just about the watch, it's about what that watch represents. Once stolen, these watches vanish quickly. Often overseas, many are smuggled into Dubai, Eastern Europe, or Asia, where second-hand dealers don't ask too many questions. Others are sold online using fake papers, sometimes parts are dismantled and resold piece by piece. London's ports and airports have become key exit points for these goods. The theft may start on Bond Street, but the watch can end up in Shanghai by the end of next week. It's an international network, a criminal enterprise with London at its core. So what's being done? Police have begun ramping up their efforts, targeting organised theft gangs, increasing surveillance in key hotspots. Some areas now have plainclothes officers mingling with crowds, watching for suspicious behaviour. There's also a push to encourage owners to register their watches through encrypted databases, making it harder for them to be stolen. But progress is slow. For every gang caught, another one seems to rise. The streets still whisper, and the watches still vanish. Some insurance companies are refusing to cover high-value items worn in public. Others are requiring customers to wear smart straps, watch bands that can track the item if stolen. Meanwhile, social media influencers and celebrities are being warned to stop flaunting their timepieces online. Because in London right now, a flashy Instagram post could be a death sentence.
Situations where I just happen to have a nice watch on and I'm walking between locations. I just take it off, I put it in my pocket because to be honest, I don't really care too much about the watch. I just rather not get my arm chopped off.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't give a fuck, bro. They'll just they'll chop your arm off.
Some might argue that this is just a first world problem. After all, most of us can't afford a Rolex, and even buying a more affordable luxury watch like an Omega is out of reach for the average person. But this issue isn't really about wealth or status, it's about the fear many people now feel when going out shopping. This issue goes even deeper. It's not just about the general public feeling unsafe, it also reflects a broader concern from the government, the fear of losing the country's wealthiest individuals to tax havens like Dubai, where high earners feel more secure and comfortable displaying their wealth, including expensive jewelry and watches. This has become a significant challenge for the UK, prompting measures such as new tax policies targeting foreign wealth and increased police presence in the city. That said, it's not all doom and gloom. In fact, watch theft numbers have actually slightly declined over the past couple of years. This raises the question, have the government's efforts actually made an impact? Or have criminals simply shifted their focus to other types of theft? London has always been a city of contrasts. Rich and poor, old and new, glamour and grit. But today the gap between those worlds feel more dangerous than ever. The simple act of wearing a watch, something most people do without thinking, has become a high-risk move, a gamble. Whether it's real or fake, it doesn't matter anymore. To a desperate man with a knife and a getaway plan, your wrist is a wallet, your style is a target. And in a city where every single second counts, the cost of time has never been higher.